dun 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 dun. Hello everyone, and welcome to Flat World News, your trusted source of alternative facts. I am your host, Flathead, and sadly, my co-host, Dome Skull, was not able to make it on time today. His first day on the job. In his defense, though, it was his first day using public transportation. Bless his heart. But without further ado, let's get into the news. Our first story comes to us from NASA, of course. A couple of weeks ago, they ended their mission, what with the Mars rover and stuff. Allegedly because they couldn't keep up with the lie anymore. I guess they just had too much photoshopping to do and not enough time to do it. The official story from NASA is that after a dust storm, they were unable to wake the Mars rover and resume operation, but of course, we all know that in reality, the Mars rover was actually in Greenland, as you can see in these pictures, which are totally legit and not an obvious hoax. Believe it or not, I actually am the one that painstakingly sifted through all of the Mars rover images on NASA's site and tried to match them with any of the millions of photos in the public domain. And that's how I found this and made this meme myself. And it totally wasn't photoshopped by somebody to try to prove a point and then perpetuated as a hoax that was eaten up by the gullible. You can actually tell by the NASA logo. In other news, a new study came out saying that YouTube is to blame for the rise in the flat earth community. Now, as a news anchor, I'm not supposed to give my opinion, but I don't think this is the case. I think people are becoming flat earthers because the earth is flat and we can tell. Now, to be fair, YouTube thus far has been the only place on the internet where flat earthers can share their ideas and findings on a site that is not confirmed to be controlled by any sort of conspiracy. The same cannot be said of, well, other websites, like the Flat Earth Society and its forums, which are controlled by the government and Freemasons in order to make us look dumb and discredit flat earthers. The other Flat Earth Society and its forums are probably controlled by Satanists. I'm not entirely sure on that one. And Reddit, well, they made fun of me. And in related news, YouTube seems to be cracking down on conspiracy-related videos, recommending them less on other videos simply because they don't agree with them. And sadly, this does seem to affect us who are speaking the truth about the shape of the Earth. And while, of course, this has huge effects on us, trying to recruit fellow flatties, some anti-Flat Earth channels also raise concerns that their channels may be affected as well. In fact, the incredibly popular and incredibly handsome anti-real truth YouTuber hiith, this guy speaks his concerns that a recent video of his that speaks against the truth of the shape of the Earth was deemed not suitable for all advertisers upon upload, something that hasn't happened to him in a while.
Yeah, and it doesn't have as many views as I would have expected, but I mean, I don't know that that's why.
Now, he has stated to Flat World News that he requested a manual review and it was fully monetized before being officially published. Lucky bastard. And it is not yet confirmed whether or not this is connected with the censoring of the flat earth. Interesting breakthrough this week. Stephen Pennington on YouTube has published his findings that the sun is actually a square.
Now you can say, no, it's not. But that would just show that you like to argue.
Now this has huge implications. Maybe, probably, I don't really know. At any rate, you can find a link to his findings in that card right there and in a link down in the description below. It's a very quick presentation, but I highly recommend checking it out. It's very insightful. These index cards are all bullshit, by the way. I'm reading off of something else. According to a recent documentary, Bob Knodel of FE Corps recently found some findings that are consistent with the globe model rotation of the Earth using an expensive MEMS gyroscope.
If the Earth is spinning at one rotation every 24 hours, that means that every hour it has to turn 15 degrees. But what we found is when we turned on that gyroscope, we found that we were picking up a drift, a 15 degree per hour drift.
At a conference in Raleigh, we want to have proof there's no curvature. And if we can do that, it's game over. But the rotation is not looking good at this point. We don't want to blow this, you know?
Right.
We've got $20,000 in this freaking gyro. But yeah, if we dumped what we found right now, we would be, it'd be bad. It would be bad. So what I just told you is confidential.
Okay, I won't say.
While Bob himself talks about the findings freely in the documentary, you can find no mention of the experiment on FE Corps' website, despite the huge expense of the gyroscope and the fact that FE Corps has no issues telling everyone about other experiments before they're even finished. But I mean, let's be real. The reason for this is obvious, and it's the same reason why ships use a gyro compass, and it's not because the Earth is actually rotating and gyroscopes can detect it. It's because gyroscopes are controlled by Satan. I mean, think about it. Do you seriously think that the phenomenon in this clip is because of, like, torque and angular momentum? No. That is sorcery. And yeah, that is all the news we have for this month. But join us next week where we get to the bottom of gravity. I'm Flathead, and this has been Flat World News. And you can follow Flat World News on Craigslist, MyAnimeList, Christian Mingle, and Randnet. You can also subscribe to this very YouTube channel for the latest news that doesn't have anything to hide about the shape of the Earth.